This is The Scoop for Wednesday.
I'm Josh Holton with the WMNF News headlines. Next week, the Florida Public Service Commission will consider nearly $10 billion in rate increases for Florida Power and Light customers. WMNF's Chris Young reports advocates are sounding the alarm not only for FPL customers, but people all over the state and nation.
Advocates say PSC commissioners are on the side of big utility companies, not the public. In a conference call, Brooke Ward, senior Florida organizer at Food and Water Watch, pointed to last year's TECO rate increase.
When Tampa Electric asked for their rate increase, the staff of the Public Service Commission had actually recommended they cut that rate increase in half, and the Public Service Commission went against their own staff's recommendations. And that is part of the reason we feel that there needs to be reform.
Tampa Electric's 775,000 residential customers are now paying at least $109 more a year due to the rate hike that took effect in January, according to Axios. Advocates say an FPL rate hike will force more customers in Florida to make tough financial choices just to afford their electric bill. U.S. Representative Kathy Castor introduced legislation to prohibit utility companies from using ratepayer dollars to fund political activities. Chris Young, WMNF News.
Saying the case has significant implications for home construction and the economy, home builders and septic system industry backed this week the Florida Department of Environmental Protection in its appeal of a federal judge's decision that required additional steps to protect manatees in the northern Indian River Lagoon. The Florida Home Builders Association, the Florida On-Site Wastewater Association, and the National On-Site Wastewater Recycling Association on Monday urged the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to overturn a decision by U.S. District Judge Carlos Mendoza that included a moratorium. Mendoza sided with the environmental group Bear Warriors United, which argued that sewage discharges into the lagoon led to the demise of seagrass, a key food source for manatees, and resulted in starvation deaths and other harm to threatened species. Septic tanks discharge nitrogen that can cause harmful algal blooms in waterways. As of July 25th, Florida totaled 484 manatee deaths this year, with the largest number, 96, in Brevard County, according to Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission data. 2 Republicans and 1 Democrat qualified before a noon deadline yesterday to run in a special election to replace former Senator Blaise Ingoglia, a Spring Hill Republican who was appointed to state chief financial officer last month. Former Republican Representative Ralph Masulo, Inverness Republican Anthony Bryce, and Ash Marwa, a Democrat from the Villages, will vie in Senate District 11, which is made up of Citrus, Hernando, Sumter, and part of Pasco counties. A special Republican primary will be held September 30th, while a special general election is scheduled December 9th. Governor Ron DeSantis appointed Ingoglia to succeed former CFO Jimmy Patronis, who won a special election this spring for a Northwest Florida congressional seat. The Florida Republican Senatorial Campaign Committee, which is headed by Senate GOP leaders, is backing Masulo to succeed Ingoglia. The Department of Health and Human Services plans to cancel contracts and pull funding for some vaccines being developed to fight respiratory viruses such as COVID-19 and the flu. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced yesterday that $500 million worth of vaccine development projects using the mRNA technology will be halted. The 22 projects are led by major pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer and Moderna. These mRNA vaccines are credited with slowing the 2020 coronavirus pandemic. In a social media video, Kennedy said HHS was prioritizing the development of safer, broader vaccine strategies like whole virus vaccines and novel programs that don't collapse when viruses mutate. Hiroshima is marking the 80th anniversary of the U.S. atomic bombing of the western Japanese city. Many aging survivors express frustration over growing global support for nuclear weapons as deterrents. With survivors' numbers rapidly declining and their average age now over 86, the anniversary is a significant milestone. The bombing on August 6, 1945, killed 140,000 people, and a second bomb on Nagasaki killed 70,000 more. Cloudy today with some storms in the afternoon and highs in the lower 90s. A possible stray shower tonight with overnight lows in the mid-70s. Mostly cloudy and some storms tomorrow with highs in the mid-90s. I'm Josh Holton with the WMNF News headlines.
This is The Scoop, recorded at WMNF Tampa.